All right, we're trying to solve an equation using factoring. Here's our equation. 32 is equal to 60b, take away 22b squared. And what I want to do is I want to get everything on one side and 0 on the other, so I can have a nice trinomial to try and factor. Okay? So I have a text box here. Let me just get rid of all that stuff. And I'm going to just copy all this into the text box. And then I want everything on one side, so if I just put 0 on this side, and put my 32 on the other side, so minus 32. And then I'm going to reorder this, so I'm going to put the my negative 22b squared plus 60b minus 32. Okay, now what I want to do is I would like to see if there's a common factor. Okay, now notice 2 goes into all of these things, and because my first term is a negative, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. Okay, when I divide that by negative 2, I get 0 divided by negative 2 is 0, and this is going to be positive 11, and this is going to be negative 30. The positive 60 becomes negative 30, and the negative 32 becomes positive 16. Okay, so no common factors, no more common factors, and this is not a perfect square trinomial because the 11b squared is not a perfect square, and so my a term is 11, it's not equal to 1, so it's not an a equals 1 trinomial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use either PSF or trial and error, and I think trial and error is going to be most fun. So I'm going to put 0 is equal to 11b over here and 1b over here. So the factors of 11 are only 1 and 11 because 11 is a prime. So for 16 it's going to be a little bit trickier because there's a few factors of 16. I'm going to try 4 and 4. Okay, and let's try that out. So if I have 11 times 4 is 44, and to get down to 30 I need to take off a 10, so that's not going to happen here. So that doesn't work. Let's try 2 and 8. No, that's going to give me 88. Let's try 8 and 2. So I have 22 added to 8 is 30, so that works. Now I have to make these both negative so I can get to negative 30. Okay, and they both have to be negative because they multiply together to give us a positive 16. And now that works. So 11, so negative 22, if I take the two outers, multiply them, the two inners, multiply them, it's negative 8. Negative 22b and negative 8b is negative 30b, which is your middle term up here. Okay, so then I'm going to equate both of these to 0. Now, I think in previous videos I've explained that sometimes the 11b minus 8 is 0, and sometimes the b minus 2 is equal to 0. So what we have to do is we have to set both of them equal to 0 and solve them as two separate equations. Okay? So I'm just going to remove the brackets. We don't need the brackets anymore. And then I'm going to, right over here, I'm going to solve for b. So I'm going to get rid of that negative 8 by adding 8 to both sides. And then I'm going to get rid of the 11b, but the 11's multiplying the b, so I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to divide both sides by b, by 11, sorry. Over here, I want to get rid of that negative 2, so I'm just going to add 2 to both sides. So I have b equals 2. Okay, and that's my final answer. I just need to put a little space here. Whoops. And 8/11 is smaller than 2, so it's in the right order. Now the program wants everything in the right order, so don't try and give it the biggest first. And that should be it. I just have to make sure I have no extra spaces. The program does not like the spaces. All right, and that should be it. And it is. All right, have a good day.